So pretty much there's been a lot of crazy stuff that's happened in history. Every day we're making history. More things present that are crazy now will become crazy history. But right now, let's talk about the things that have already happened in the past that are pretty crazy. Juliana the Great Dane. Juliana was a medal-winning Great Dane. She was awarded 2 Blue Cross medals, the first for extinguishing a incendiary bomb and second for returning her masters to a fire that had started in their shop. Okay, and the crazy thing about this is that the way she extinguished the incendiary bomb is that she urinated on it, like just a really smart dog, right? This one's pretty interesting. I have heard things like Coca-Cola used to be sold in pharmacies and was kind of like a medication of some sort. This one was pretty interesting. This kind of reminded me of that. But ketchup was used as a medicine in the 1830s. In the 1830s, tomato ketchup was sold as a medicine that could cure ailments like diarrhea, indigestion, and jaundice. The idea was initially proposed by Dr. John Cook Bennett, an American physician in 1834, who later decided to sell the recipe in the form of tomato pills. After sales began, copycats flooded the market with their own pills, leading to a war of tomato pills. These copycats claimed their pills could solve all types of ailments, but in truth, most just sold laxatives. So pretty much people stopped using it as a medicine in the 1850s. As we know, ketchup would come back as a condiment around the late 1800s, so not too much longer after that. Like, people say, you know what, it didn't cure my diarrhea or my indigestion. In fact, it gave me more diarrhea, but it did taste good. Then people probably put on their burgers and stuff. It was like, wow, this is delicious. It's not good as medication, but it's good to put on hamburgers. I don't know if PETA would appreciate this one or not, and I love animals too. They really see animals as equals. But this is pretty interesting. In 1386, a pig was executed in Falaise, France. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not. So in the Middle Ages, a pig attacked a child who went to die later from their wounds. The pig was arrested, kept in prison, and then sent to court where it stood trial for the murder, was found guilty, and then executed by hanging. What's interesting is that the event was memorialized in a fresco in the local church. This may sound weird, but apparently trials of non-human animals were common in the medieval Europe period. Other animals that were tried include rats, frogs, snakes, roosters, and even insects. Interesting, huh? So as we know, wars can span for a very long time, years, decades, 100. But what about the other way around? The shortest war in history lasted 38 minutes. That's it. The Anglo-Zanzibar War was a military conflict between the United Kingdom and the Sultanate of Zanzibar on August 27, 1986. It lasted between 38 and 45 minutes, making it the shortest recorded war in history. So the Sultan of Zanzibar died. That was Hamad bin Thawani. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. His cousin, Khalid bin Bargash, refused to accept British Empire's preferred successor. Pretty much they're like, hey, listen, we have a guy that we prefer to run the country because, as we all know, that's what they used to do. The powerful country, they still do that, but the powerful countries would rather have someone that they can control. Anyway, Khalid occupied the Sultan's palace. He said, you know what, I don't approve of this successor. The British diplomat said, hey, you need to get out of the palace and you need to stand down. So the British got their Royal Navy to come out and they bombarded the palace. And soon after, Khaled's flag was lowered and he surrendered. The British then installed their own new sultan. Khaled fled to the German consulate and was later exiled to St. Helena. So this one is, if you've ever wondered what it would be like if an NBA player had a baby with a WNBA. Actually, I don't think a WNBA player is as tall as this person I'm about to speak about next. The tallest married couple ever recorded was Anna Haining Swan, who was 7'11", and Martin Van Buren Bates, who was 7'9". So she was taller than him. That's like Victor Wembanyama tall. That's almost 8 feet. You might as well say she's an 8-footer. Anna and Martin had 2 children. Both unfortunately passed away at birth. Not too much longer, between 9 and 11 hours after birth. They had a girl who was 18 pounds, and they had a boy who was 22 pounds and 20 inches tall. And actually, for the boy, Guinness's World Records awarded him posthumously a record for heaviest newborn baby and the longest. So this next one is regarding the folklore legend of Johnny Appleseed. Johnny Appleseed, as we learned growing up in school, went around town throwing around seeds to help, apples grow, apple plants. That's at least what I grew up with in school. But apparently, this guy was real. Johnny Appleseed was a real person. His real name was John Chapman, and his hometown was Leominster, Massachusetts. I probably said that wrong. So he went around planting apple seeds all throughout Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Ontario, as well as northern counties of West Virginia. So if you live in one of those states, you could be eating an apple from an apple tree planted by an apple seed from Johnny Appleseed. Crazy, right? He also had a street name after him, though the city planners decided it would be more poetic to use his mythical name, Johnny Appleseed Lane. Okay, so this one's crazy. 14 years before the infamous Titanic sank, author Morgan Robertson wrote the novella Futility. It features a fictional British ocean liner named Titan that sinks in the northern Atlantic Ocean after striking an iceberg. The Titan and its sinking are famous for their similarities for the real-life passenger ship RMS Titanic and its sinking 14 years later, right? So this book came out 14 years prior to the Titanic actually sailing and sinking. Following the sinking of the Titanic, the novel was reissued with some changes, particularly to the ship's displacement. Although the novel was written before the RMS Titanic was even conceptualized, there are some uncanny similarities between the fictional and real-life versions. Like the Titanic, the fictional ship sank after wrecking on an iceberg in April in the North Atlantic Ocean, and there were not enough lifeboats for all the passengers. The ships are also similar in size and speed, right? So they're pretty much structured the same as well. After the Titanic sinking, some people credited Robertson with precognition and clairvoyance, but scholars attribute the similarities to Robertson's extensive knowledge of shipbuilding and maritime trends. Okay, so this one may be one of the nastier ones on the list. So this one's actually, no, this one is the nastiest one. Yeah, this one's the nastiest one on the list. The ancient Romans often used stale urine as mouthwash. The main ingredient in urine is ammonia, which acts as a powerful cleaning agent. Urine became so in demand that Romans who traded it actually had to pay a tax on it. I mean, paying tax for pee, that's crazy. I mean, there's a demand, there's a supply, I don't know. Yeah, so urine was a key ingredient in ancient Roman toothpaste. Other ingredients included powdered charcoal, herbs, and crushed mouse brains. It was also used as like a Listerine too. Urine was swished around in the mouth to clean and whiten teeth. So we've all heard about the Boston Tea Party, but not many of us know about the Boston Molasses disaster. On January 15, 1919, a 90-foot wide cast iron tank filled to the brim with sticky molasses exploded and spilled 2.5 million gallons of crude molasses into the streets of Boston. The molasses ran through the streets like a tsunami, reaching speeds of 35 miles per hour. The molasses demolished everything in its path, toppling buildings, drowning horses, and virtually killing 21 and injuring 150 people. This one's interesting because I'm a pillow person, so this stuck out to me. The ancient Egyptians used slabs of stones as pillows. In ancient Egypt, the head was considered to be the seat of spiritual life and had to be cared for. Therefore, when getting into bed, the Egyptians would place their heads on a stone with a curve in it. Headrests were believed to help keep the head and neck aligned while sleeping. Headrests were thought to protect the head from evil spirits and insects. In hot climates, headrests allowed air to flow under the head to keep the sleeper cool. The materials varied. They were stone, but you could also find some made of marble, ivory, ceramic, wood, or even glass. Headrests were often decorated with carved designs, including images of deities. Some evidence even suggests that headrests were padded or wrapped with linen to make them more comfortable. The Egyptians believed that sleep was a sacred time for the soul to travel. They also believed that the head was the most sacred part of the body. So this would kind of make sense why they would have kind of like a headrest or for you, made for your brain.